Hello everybody, Ashoka here with the Ship Remasted. I wanted to give you guys a little quick rundown, and by quick means probably like a little bit of a longer video. A little rundown of the Ship Remasted Early Access. Currently in this show here, Alpha 0.67856, so it's very early. So let's go ahead and start up the game real quick to show you what it looks like. So for those who have played the ship before, I will be going on it and talking about the game and how it's actually played. So for those who don't want to hear that, there will be an annotation that I will put down right now. You skip that, go right to the early access stuff. Now for those of you who are sticking around, I'm going to quickly explain the way you play the ship. So the ship is very simple. What you do is you are on a ship, you have someone you must kill, and you must kill them. That is the game in a nutshell. Now, the way you kill them is you walk around, you look for items, clothing, other things like that you will use to dispatch of your enemies. Now, am I a dude or my lady? I am a lady here, and I am an ugly lady at that. Oh my lord. When you have a target, which will be in the upper right corner, I'm sure someone will join in soon and will show you that. You must talk to them, just like this, and you will see what their name is, and then you will find out their identity. So everyone that you speak to at first glance will be a random person with no identity. You have no idea who they are until you obviously talk to them. Once you talk to them, you can identify whether they are your target or not. And then once that happens, you walk around the ship and you grab items, you hunt them down, and you kill them, preferably without getting caught by security or getting caught by other players. Now, while this is happening, you're being hunted as well. So it's not just killing people, it's also running away from people. And the part that makes this all, that kind of ties the whole thing together, is the needs system. So with needs, you have to poop, you have to pee, you have to shower, you have to eat, and sleep. Some dirty toilet noises right there. And things affect everything else. So if I use the restroom, I get a little bit dirty, It's a little not as clean as it was, 2 seconds ago. So I gotta go take a shower. If I run, my tiredness, my sleepy meter will also increase. It's me sleeping. Also to eat and drink and a little bit of recreation, which is reading or dancing. So I'll show you that. Dancing's actually pretty hilarious. I want to see what the animations are. Where's the speaker at? There should be one here somewhere. Alright, let's see what's up. Oh my lord. That is the worst. Oh my god, that's so bad. And you're on this giant ship with multiple decks, A, B, C, D. I think this is the Andrea Flodoria. I cannot read today. This is one of the bigger ships, which I actually quite like. So, when you want to kill somebody, you have to think about a couple things. First off, are you in an area that is secluded enough for you to take them out without being caught by other passengers? In the final release of the game, there will be AI, and there will be a bunch of other people on there, so you won't just be able to pull out a gun in the middle of like a crowd. You'll be caught. If you get caught, you get thrown into jail, and as soon as you're thrown in jail, people will be alerted to your jail-y presence. So it's actually pretty dangerous once you get out, because people will know exactly when to wait for you, exactly where you're at for at least 30 seconds to like a minute, depending on how much crap you had on you. It's also like a psychological aspect to the game as well. It's not just running around and hunting people, it's also kind of faking them out, making think you're not going to kill them. Like, the best way to play this game is to play it very chill, very cool. Just kind of, don't let people know that you're hunting them right up until you're going to shoot them in the face or stab them in the back. Because then they can run away, and then they can run to a safe area, and then you have to run away, change your appearance so they don't know that it's you. Maybe put on like a silly hat or something like that. Take off your hat, take off your glasses, and start all over again. Alright, so Logan joined in here. Let's check out Logan, see what he did. So that's the ship in a nutshell. There will be secret passages and other things that they added in to the game, but for all intents and purposes, that is how you play the ship. Now, for those of you who have played the ship before and want to know how the early access is, I'm going to say, not bad, Bob. It's not bad. It could be a lot better, obviously. But the game is in a very early state. It runs okay, does not run the best. Right now I'm at 85 frames a second, but on certain maps and on certain things I look at, I can bump down to 30 or 40, which is interesting because this game does not look that great. Um, Not to say that it's a bad thing. Just the ship's never been about graphics. Never been about looking like $1 million game. This is a simple game that has a lot of nuance to it, a lot of layers, like a delicious onion. But it's definitely not for everybody. So if you're not an early access kind of person, and if you're not a slower, methodical kind of person, this game is not for you. This box is not very good looking. But from the original ship, it is a nice improvement. It's a little bit cleaner looking. The textures are a bit more crisp, a bit more clean, look a lot better. The UI is much nicer as well. Oh, see you later, Logan. Guess you're gone. A little bit easier to use. I'm not a big fan of this reticle here. I hope this is an option. Um, Also, the options are very basic as well. Quality is just fastest, fast, simple, good, beautiful, fantastic, ultra. No idea what any of that means. You can't switch monitors, which is nice. I wish more games had this feature. Choose which monitor the game displays on. Not that I use it, but I'm sure someone somewhere that's like a thing for them. A couple things also, for example, all doors are open. You can't open and close doors yet. This was a problem in the original ship where people would hide behind a door. I wish they wouldn't have done that. One of the funnest things about this game was like going to the restroom, having someone hunting you, and you don't know where they're at. You close the door, you go to poop, and instead of facing the person, you're facing this direction. So you see these like feet under the door, and the door opens, someone pulls out a gun, and you're just sitting there with your pants down, and you're like, oh man, this is how I die, with no pants on, and poop coming out of my butt. It's probably one of the greatest things I've ever seen, and that's the reason why the ship was and still is probably one of my favorite games and one of my favorite multiplayer experiences ever. So there really isn't much to really look at here. I mean, it's the ship. If you played the ship before, that's it. If you haven't played the ship, I just told you how the ship plays. um, there are a couple things I am kind of disappointed in. So the game was delayed for a week. The early access launch was delayed by a week because they wanted to add in dedicated servers. As far as I know, those are not in yet. Um, the servers you can create are Unity Cloud servers, which is a pretty cool service, I actually gotta admit. It's a smart idea. Here's the problem though. The current max is only 4 players. That's not a lot. And especially with no AI NPCs in the game as of this video, as of this release of the game, you're only playing with a couple of people. So it's the more people you get in, and the more NPCs are in the game to you know kind of make the shit feel more alive and kind of have more eyeballs on you. In a sense, the better the game is, hands down. But as mentioned, many times, it is early access. Sometimes in development, you do have a schedule you must adhere to, and you cannot always, wait until this one feature is in the game. Now, granted, I think is a pretty big feature, but that's myself speaking here. So, are there any games up? Oh yeah, join me. Let's join this person here. But overall, I mean, big improvement over the original game. From a user standpoint, the features in the game are a little bit nicer. The inventory management is much better. Does look a little bit better. Does sound a little bit better too. I'll say that. Currently, I think there's only like 2 maps in the game, and there will be adding more maps as they go on. Now, for those of you who are wondering why should I buy the Ship Remasted when the ship currently is on Steam, um, I would say the reason to buy it is because you want to support the developer. At this current point in time, the only reason really to buy it is to support the developer. The game is not in not going to say not a playable state, but not in a state that I would personally pay $20 for. But if you have the ship already, and I believe there even might be a sale, the game's $15. It's not a lot for an early access title. and I don't think it'll be going up anytime. I think they're just gonna keep the price the same, which is pretty nice. $20 is not a lot to ask, especially with Steam sales. You know, you probably pick it up at a Steam sale for like $5, something like that. Some outside here, the top of the ship there. And that's kind of why I put my money down for this. I wanted to make a video. This is a thing. It is live now. You know, they will be adding more to it. The developers seem to be very good about communicating with other people. There's someone sleeping. So where they're at though. I think they gotta fix the directional sound stuff, or maybe they're like around the corner or something. Um, yeah, but overall, you know, they definitely have taken care to really kind of showcase the game in a good manner. Can I jump over this? I can. Oh, no fall damage either. Sweet. Whoa. Yeah, so you go to jail, buddy. Go away. Get fined. I'm not even playing. You guys even know. Why are you shitting at me for, bud? Oh, one thing I do want to add. This is like the greatest thing I've ever seen. This ATM. Look at this ATM. This sweet ATM. This is like steampunk ATM. This is the ATM you see like Bioshock or something. Even this food dispenser. Look at these little like levers and knobs there. That's great. That tells me that they do care and they're just they're just remodeling everything straight from the original game. They are kind of adding a couple things here and there, a couple of atmospheric environmental things that kind of add some atmosphere to the game, add a kind of sense to this world that we're in here, the world of the ship, with the 1920s esque music as well. All right, and yeah, fortunately there aren't too many people on right now. I wish they did have dedicated servers in. I would definitely rent a server like today. I'll end one of my many subscriptions and pick that up. But I will be making more content centered around the ship. As they add more things in, with more impressions. If it goes bad, I'll let you know. If it goes great, I'll let you know. Currently, I'm very optimistic for it. The devs seem very communicative with the community, and they seem to really want to make this kind of get bigger. Because they couldn't just do anything to the original ship. Unfortunately, when they did buy the rights, they were not able to obtain the technical license, and whether that was on purpose or that was something they just were unable to do because Outer Light, that company, is no longer around. The original developers of the ship. That I don't know. But that being said, I think putting the game on a newer engine, making it look nicer, kind of building it up from scratch, I think is a better idea than fixing something that might possibly be unfixable, spending that money on code that isn't yours. At least this way, they know what the game is. This is theirs, and they can tweak it and mess with it as much as they want. So that has been the Ship Remastered. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. If you like this video, let me know. As ever often that I do live, recorded videos, usually do the audio after that. So this is a little different for me. If you didn't like it, thumbs down, I know how that works. I will not be hurt. Just let me know what I did wrong. But if you're mean about it, well, you can suck it. Alright, thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one.